Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my chapter review to My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero Academia 186, Endeavor and Hawks. Now this was a really good chapter, but the end has got me feeling things I think others are feeling too. So let's just get through the chapter and we'll talk about it. So we start the chapter with a guy called Teruo Hazukashi, who is extremely bitter at his previous workplace because of how he's had to put up a kind of facade during his work time and conceal his true self, which I think is what he was getting at. And he's also bitter because of the, I think possibly because of the amount of work he's had to do. I feel like this was kind of Horikoshi's quick shot at the Japanese culture of work, which is quite horrific if you've read up on it. And from what I've heard, they work themselves to the bone just to gain the respect of their seniors, and their seniors I think now it's getting better. Their seniors are being picked on who can who inspires better teamwork and looks after their I've forgotten what the word is. Their support workers, not even the support workers. Their lowers, let's just say for now. But from what I've read up on Japanese work culture is that everyone essentially burns out eventually, and there's a very high suicide rate in Japan. Not something to joke about, and stress levels are always high. I mean, like the amount of medicals these people get who work in these types of firms and stuff like that in Japan, they have a medical like every few days or something like that. So it's insane. So that's why I think Horikoshi was kind of getting at here. And this guy's quirk is called shame, which makes him more powerful the more embarrassed he becomes. Actually, before we even continue this, Do It With a Don Tom is another channel who has gotten in contact with me, a really good guy. And what he's done is he's united a whole bunch of other YouTubers. I think there's a good like 7-8 of us, including myself, and we're all going to be on the Discord talking about One Punch Man later today in about an hour for me. So that's why I'm recording this review quick time. But we're going to be doing that on Discord. I'm not too sure if he's going to allow everyone else to jump in on that Discord. I don't even know what the Discord is called at the moment. But essentially, we're all going to be on that talking about One Punch Man and how it's whatever's going down there. And hopefully he should upload that because he's the host. It should be on his channel. So it's called Do It With a Don Tom. So yeah, head over to that channel. Give that guy a subscribe. Give that guy a like, whatever it is, and check out that video because it's bound to be awesome. I'm going to be in there too. Hopefully I don't make a fool of myself, but definitely go check it out. So just to put that out there. Yeah, so this guy's quirk is shame, which makes him more powerful the more embarrassed he becomes. So as you can imagine, he starts to get naked real quick, only to be taken out by Hawks. And there are two key things here. Hazukashi clearly has some form of twisted ideology or kind of underlying agenda, made obvious by him screaming "Banzai for the emancipation of superpowers." And I was like, what? Like, how does this dumbass got beef because he felt his company kind of wronged him, he treated him wrong, and he starts screaming some political nonsense about the freedom of superpower usage, and I was like, nani? So it was really weird hearing him say that, even though he had beef with his company in general. And the second key thing is how Hawks took out Hazukashi. He shot feathers from his wings, which were hard enough to hit Hazukashi and drop him. I'm not sure if it knocked him out, but it definitely dropped the guy. A lot like, and he shot these feathers out, a lot like Angel from X-Men at some point in his colorful career. So with this, we see that Endeavor and Hawks are taking a stroll through Hawks' turf, with Hawks asking Endeavor about what he wants to eat. And the funny part here is that, which was actually pointed out by Mangstream quite nicely, is that Hawks constantly suggests eating dishes which have birds as the main focus. Is always chicken or some sort of bird dish, which is funny because he's kind of a bird too. I've got like a hair just sticking somewhere, a bit of dust, I don't know. So while they're walking, Hawks just casually like helps people out, or almost kind of autonomically. He's just very kind of reflexive, and he saves someone's dog that's running into the middle of the road. He helps an old lady carry some luggage up some stairs, all with the use of his feathers, which seem to have a mind of their own, like I mentioned before, kind of autonomous, because Hawks doesn't even look at what he's doing, and they're almost definitely controlled by him, but his mastery of his feathers is so high at this point, he's basically controlling them without even concentrating, without even looking at what he's doing, which is quite unique. So suddenly Hawks is surrounded by fans, and he takes this moment to just bathe in his fame, and just a little bit. He's signing autographs, he's taking selfies, all that kind of thing. And I'm like, you know what? For someone who's putting in as much effort as he has, that's fine. If he wants to just bathe in some of the glory of his works, that's cool, bro. Like, you do what you need to do to carry on motivating yourself to be a better hero. And all the while, Endeavor kind of just watches and learns about interaction with his fan base. So Endeavor then sees a kid with his friends talking about how he wants Endeavor's autograph, but he's too scared to approach the kid. No, the kid is too scared to approach Endeavor. So Endeavor then does something I thought showed exceptional growth on his part, and I was kind of annoyed by the reaction of the kid. So upon hearing his young fan, Endeavor walks over to him and tells him there's no need to hold back, i.e. you can ask me to sign your autograph, it's cool. So instead of going apeshit and having Endeavor sign it, which I would have done, the kid just stands there and says, "This is all wrong. Endeavor doesn't do that. He's too cool to care about popularity or fan service." And I was like, you're a twat, mate. It's like straight up. So the kid then runs away saying Endeavor has changed. And I know this was meant to be a comedic part of the chapter, but this is kind of how Endeavor's interactions with his fan base have gone and why he probably doesn't do it. I mean, his initial reaction to the kid's reaction was that he himself had done something wrong. And obviously, in order to correct it, he probably wouldn't do that again. So hopefully this isn't the last time Endeavor approaches a young fan like that, but that kid was a bit of a twat. So we then go to this fairly tall building which is stacked with restaurants. While Endeavor and Hawks are eating, they converse. Endeavor notices Hawks' slight gluttony and therefore greed. Hawks simply responds by saying that once he has his mind set on something, he simply can't hold himself back. He must have it. It's in his nature. This sounds like a very, very villainy type of thing to say, and it was strange to hear it coming from the mouth of Hawks, like once I have my mind set on something, I must have it. And you're just like, okay, that's cool, bro. So he then tells Endeavor of how he pursued Todoroki after the sports festival too, but instead he got Tsukuyomi, which is Tokoyami's hero name. He says Todoroki would have damaged his brand name because he failed the provisional license exam, which is fair play to him, but I feel there's more to the reason why he's glad to have had Tokoyami, a fellow bird-like person, over Todoroki. He might have had a lot to teach Tokoyami and a lot to learn from Tokoyami as well. So after mentioning that he's always been a good observer, Endeavor has had enough and tells Hawks to cut the crap. Endeavor wants to get down to hero business right away. So Hawks then reminds us that the Nomu were captured alongside All for One in Kamino, and since then there haven't been any reported sightings of a Nomu. Hawks then says the general viewpoints on why there haven't been any further sightings are twofold. Either all of the Nomu they were captured at Kamino, and those were all of the Nomus in existence, or there's still Nomu out there, but only All for One knows of their location or where they are. So Endeavor then asks if the team up was requested purely because of these rumors, to which Hawks kind of replies, yeah, 100%. And I was like, what a guy. So this is funny, but we quickly go back to the meat of the conversation. According to Hawks, the rumored sightings haven't just been in his area, but all over the country, spoken of through kind of old wives' tales and kids going to school and stuff like that, talking to their friends. And obviously this isn't enough to capture the attention of other heroes, supposedly, and the media. But the gossip remains and rumors spread. So Hawks tells Endeavor of how he cooperated with the police on a recent business trip when he first heard the rumors. And after an investigation, they came up dry. There were no Nomus that they could find. Hawks was still concerned though, so he flew around the country and heard these rumors all around the country, just similar rumors, very, very distinct. But they were all in different districts with the same kind of message. And after all this, he feels like some Egypt is going around propagating fear and anxiety, all this fear mongering because of the events of Kamino, and it's spreading across the country alarmingly fast. So Hawks then tells us of where the Hazukashi guy at the start of the chapter got his weird ideologies from, a book written by a villain which has been selling pretty well since its reprint. So Hawks is concerned because in times, and this is just kind of, you can see it in our own history as humans as well, but always in times of political or social unrest, books like those will sell well. Anything with extremist ideologies thrive and then cause a further proliferation of extremist ideologies. You can see it just with the Nazis in Nazi Germany. Just look at that time, like pre-World War II, just before we got to World War II. So it's a bad situation for the heroes to have to deal with. So once again, Endeavor asks Hawks, what is his point? Why does he need Endeavor to be here? And Hawks simply says he wants Endeavor to become the leader the heroes need him to be. So he wants Endeavor to tell the public, like, I'm here, you can rest easy, I'm going to be on the case. So he just wants Endeavor to kind of take the mantle of I'm now the symbol of whenever you're in trouble, I'll be there. So Hawks tells Endeavor of his ideal day as a hero, which is just him patrolling the streets. Nothing occurs. He goes back home and he enjoys the peace, really. And he goes on to say that he wants the world to be a place where heroes have so much free time they don't know what to do with it, i.e. there's so little criminal activity that the heroes have a lot of time to chill. So it's at this point Endeavor notices something flying towards them in the distance. This is the part where the chapter started spicing up. So Hawks notices it too, and his face becomes extremely serious very quickly. And we find out straight away that it's the Nomu from last chapter, High End, getting ready to bust into a high-end restaurant to take out some high-end heroes. So the Nomu crashes into the window. Endeavor stood right in front of it, and Endeavor gets ready to battle whilst ordering Hawks to evacuate the building and get the lady who's giving them the check to get the hell out of there. So High End asks which of the two of them is the strongest. An unusual question, seeing as Endeavor has always been either the number 2 and now the number 1 hero. So even though this creature can think and speak, it doesn't seem to recognize that it's in fact Endeavor standing before him and Hawks. So that's not even a question you'd ask. Endeavor's always going to be stronger than Hawks. So I'm not sure whether it can recognize people it knew prior to its formation as a Nomu. So Endeavor comments on how fortuitous the timing of this Nomu's arrival was, but he's prepared for battle nonetheless. And I have to agree with him there. The timing of this Nomu's arrival was extremely, extremely fortuitous. So with an awesome flaming punch to the gut, Endeavor starts the fight and tells the Nomu he'll show him what it means to be number 1. And that's pretty much how the chapter finished. I mean, it was a really good way to finish the chapter, but there are a couple things that need addressing. First, it's incredibly suspicious how on this day, at this specific time, when Hawks had invited Endeavor down and was talking to Endeavor about Nomus, that the first Nomu to be an actual confirmed sighting attacks the 2 heroes who are about to open up this investigation on them, or not even an investigation, but just kind of we're gonna do something about them. So as much as I like and have liked Hawks over the last couple of chapters, Horikoshi was really trying to sell this chapter how much of a good guy he was, while dropping some strange little hints of something deeper, something underlying that I don't like about Hawks, like the once my mind is set on something, I can't hold myself back, I need to have it, that kind of thing. There was something else he said this chapter, I've forgotten what it was, but it was just okay. So additionally, Hawks made mention of how there were rumors of Nomus all across the country, but no confirmed sightings. Now, even still, is it not weird to you guys that Endeavor hasn't heard of any of this? And what about the other heroes and the police? Surely after Kamino, even a Nomu rumor would put everyone on high alert. I mean, they know what the Nomus can do, and especially after Kamino, after they've seen what these guys can do, they would be on extremely high alert. If even a kid said, I saw a Nomu, they'd be like, shit, where did you see it? Let's check it just in case. Or even if these kids were, now obviously a lot of it is just fear mongering apparently, but I think they would be more aware of this situation, and even the heroes would be slightly alert of a Nomu situation in this certain kind of environment. So could it be that Hawks has been flying around spreading the rumors himself? He did mention that he was flying around visiting these places, and he'd noticed that these rumors were already there, but it could just as well be that he's been flying around delivering these rumors to these different places and watching it spread like wildfire. Could it be that Hawks is the traitor in the heroes' midst? The strange thing here is that I feel that there were death flags all over this chapter, and all over the last couple of chapters really, for Hawks. So if he's not evil, he might die anyway. So I'm just because when he did the whole thing, the ideal, his idealistic vision of what being a hero is, I can just come home, rest in peace, while I know that outside there's very little criminal activity going on. That it's one of those situations where if he dies, it's going to be right before he dies, he's just going to be all I wanted to do is rest, and you're just okay, and then he dies and you cry a bit, one tear. So I think either it's going to be one of those situations where Hawks is evil, or it's going to be one of those situations where Hawks might die. So the second thing I noticed was High End has Muscular's quirk, muscle augmentation. So this was an incredibly powerful quirk which allowed Muscular to augment the muscle fibers beneath his skin. You can see on the last double spread of this chapter, you can see the Nomu with muscle fibers just spreading all over his arm, over his forearm. I'm not going to put it in because it's easy enough to check up. So this quirk allowed Muscular to augment the muscle fibers beneath his skin, exponentially increasing his power, his speed, but he could also use it defensively, coating himself in these augmented muscle fibers and encasing himself so that he wouldn't receive damage. Now, if this normal can use this quirk more creatively and more strategically, Endeavor's got a hard fight before him. So that's just the hype that's coming, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next chapter. So let me know what you guys saw of this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of anything I had to say of this in this review. Try and check out the, what was I talking about? Yeah, try and check out the Do It With a Don Tom. Try and check his channel for the Discord conversation that we'll all be having. There's going to be Satsuki in there. It's going to be Jenny, myself. It's going to be Grim Reaper. It's going to be Do It With a Don Tom, and there were several others who just escaped my mind at the moment. But yeah, definitely check that out and Do It With a Don Tom's channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit after you like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. So yeah, definitely check that out, and I'll see you guys in a bit.